What is up, people of all different types of ages, races, genders, and yes, even you other species out there watching this video. My name is Omega Pro, and in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys my first impressions on the PlayStation 4. Now, I just got to play this PlayStation 4 at my local GameStop. They just got it set up, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that. And they should be having an Xbox One set up next week, which I'll be going to check out, even though I'll only be able to get the PS4 this year. However, I plan for about a January to February purchase of the Xbox One of next year. However, this video is about the PS4 and my initial impressions of it. Now, let me see if I have a controller here. I do. This is my all-time favorite controller, the Nintendo Gamecube controller. This controller is unmatched for me in terms of just comfort. I love this controller. The Nintendo Gamecube controller is my favorite controller. Wait. Was my favorite controller. Now, I don't know if it's just because this is a new controller or what have you, but this PlayStation 4 controller, I'm telling you, is unlike anything else you've ever felt before. I haven't tried the Xbox One controller. However, this PlayStation 4 controller rocked my world. So far, it's more comfortable than this thing here. And I never thought I would say that. The GameCube controller is by far the best controller, in my personal opinion, to any other controller out there. The only thing that can make this controller any better is if the C-stick was a little bit more like this stick here. But other than that, perfect controller in terms of comfort. I've never had one issue with this. The button layout is amazing. Everything with this controller is amazing. Now, I've got a DualShock 3 here. That I use for my PS3, obviously, and this is what it looks like, and I can tell you right off the bat, I know some people, when they looked at the PS4 controller, they saw the elongated, I don't even know what you would call this, like, handles, I guess, and they were like, I don't know, that looks kind of weird, looks kind of big, looks kind of bulky. It needed to be there. It made all of the difference. I cannot, like, now that I'm holding this, after holding the PS4 controller, this is uncomfortable to me. I finally see why. I never had an issue with the DualShock 3 before, but I finally see why people had problems with this. And I mean, I used to be an Xbox guy myself until I figured that, PS3 had better exclusives, at least for my taste. But this, like, I just almost want to toss this, to be honest with you. The PS4 controller, another thing it does really well is that it's very, very well constructed. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but if I'm like grabbing this controller and, sort of twisting it like this, you can hear the creaks. And I don't know, just like after a while, you really just, it feels like it's getting worn out, This PS4 controller is thick, it's solid, it's well built. I have a feeling like if I drop this thing, or hell, if I even throw it in a fit of rage, it might do more damage to my walls than it does to the controller. This thing is on another level, and I fully expect the Xbox One to be on another level as well. However, this previous gen here, DualShock 3, and even the Xbox 360 controllers are really, really fragile in my opinion. And I mean, when I used to be super serious and I used to rage a lot, I would break Xbox controllers. So, I don't think anymore. I mean, I'm not a rager anymore. So, I mean, in comparison to the DualShock 3, the DualShock 4 is amazing, and it even beats out my favorite controller, the GameCube controller, which I never once thought, the little improvements that I saw people talking about with the PS4 controller, I was like, pubic hair in my mouth. I thought, who cares? That's nothing. It makes all the difference. The textured back, the new triggers, even the new buttons, everything is superb on that. Now, that's not all that I did with the PS4. I didn't just look at a controller. I was like, yay, PS4 controller. I also played a few games. Now, I got to play 3 games. There were, I think, 2 or 3 other games, but they were like indie titles that I wasn't really interested in. The first game I tried out was Knack, because I was on the fence on this one. I kind of wanted to buy it, but the jury was still out on that. So I decided, hell, I'll try it out now. Perfect timing. Knack is terrible. I mean, the game is just empty. It feels empty. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing. I don't even know what the hell that game's about. But for like a platformer, brawler kind of thing, it was really empty. Like usually when you're playing a platformer, or hell, even if you're playing a game like God of War, like everything just looks detailed, or it just looks like the environments are alive. Everything in Knack looked dead. It looked uninspired. I mean, the game looked great. The game ran so smooth, but just everything just did not like blow me away. I was like, an indie developer could have made this for the PC 3 years ago. Like, there's no reason for this to be, hyped up for the PS4. I mean, I might end up picking it up after I get sick of the two games I plan on picking up on launch, which is NBA 2K14, which I probably won't get sick of that. I usually play those games for the entire life cycle until the next game comes out, and Killzone Shadowfall. After I'm done with Killzone Shadowfall, I'll probably be moving on to one of the games that's multi-platform. Hopefully by the time I'm done with Killzone Shadowfall, hopefully the multiplayer holds me over until Infamous Second Son. But, that's all for a later date. But Knack, I don't know if I'll be picking that one up. Maybe I heard rumors maybe of it being a free game on the PSN, like if you're a PlayStation Plus member. I don't know about that, though. I think they substituted Drive Club for some indie game or something. If it is free, I'll definitely pick it up. I mean, the combat felt pretty cool in my opinion. And, the jumping and the mechanics and all that stuff felt pretty cool. But just the environment really, really threw me off. Usually for a game like that, you expect to be like immersed, like sort of like a Ratchet and Clank kind of thing. If it was vibrant like that and it was full of life, Knack would be fucking amazing. But it's really dead, and I didn't really like it. The next game I played after that was FIFA, and FIFA was FIFA. The best looking FIFA, but just FIFA nonetheless. I didn't really see any improvements. Again, I'm not really a FIFA player myself. I think that FIFA didn't do the thing that NBA 2K14 did. What NBA 2K14 did is they released a 2K14 for current gen, and then they revamped 2K14 for the next gen, and that game looks absolutely gorgeous. Haven't played it yet though, so definitely on launch day, that's probably the game I'm going to be playing the most. So I guess look forward to that. But FIFA was just FIFA, nothing really crazy. I mean, it's the best looking FIFA, but definitely not by much. I didn't really notice a huge jump in terms of like current gen to next gen there. But then again, I don't think the FIFA games, sort of try to go for an overhaul like NBA did. But that was FIFA. And the final game I played, I didn't even know about. It was a game called Contrast, and I'm assuming this is an indie title that you're going to be able to download off of the PlayStation Store. But this game was very, very interesting. I liked the atmosphere that it had. I liked the two characters. There's a very, very tall female character and then more of a little girl. And what the game is it's essentially a platformer from what I got to play. There were people waiting behind me to try out the PS4, so I didn't really want to be a dick. So I just sort of played a game for like 5 minutes each or something like that. But from what I can gather, it's a platformer wherein it has a shift mechanic. Now, this is nothing new here. There are a lot of games. There's even like Flash games you can play for free that have a shift mechanic where, one side will be white, one side will be dark. You press a button, you flip to the dark side or something like that. But this game did it in a little bit of a different manner. And what happens is that everything that's in contrast, I guess, which really makes sense, aka like dark spots, is just, like they're like normal spots. But if there's like a light, say, on a wall or a light on like a post or whatever, then what you can actually do is you can have the main character, the girl, like jump, and then like you press L2 or R2 or something, and then you fuse into that wall as a shadow, and then that unlocks sort of another dimension to the level. So not everything is not what it seems like at first. This seems very interesting. This is probably going to be a day one pickup for me. I'm probably going to end up grabbing that and doing videos on that and stuff, because that game looks really, really interesting. I mean, it's been a while since I've gotten into platformers and stuff, but this one looks like it could grab my interest. To be honest, the only reason why I'm even considering buying it is because I'm not too thrilled with the launch lineup of, the PS4, unfortunately. But hey, that game looks pretty cool. That game was the one that blew me away the most. It looked the most next gen out of all the games I played, and it ran so smoothly. That was only capable on next gen. Sure, the graphics or whatever may not have been like, oh my god, you can't do this on an Xbox, but how smooth it ran, you can only do that on the next gen or, PC if you want to go that route. But yeah, Contrast, definitely an interesting game. It's not for everybody, I wouldn't say, but I really like the mechanic of, you're in one spot in the dark and then you jump towards the light and then you can just like smack into the wall or whatever. It was really cool, really interesting, and I'm excited to try that out. But overall, I think that's all I had to say. Oh, one thing I did notice, the PS4 and Xbox One claim to have no loading. Now, I don't know if this is with just the demo unit they have set up for stores or whatever, but when I exited a game, it took a while, mind you, to sit there and load. Like, I think there was 92 applications or something that was on the PS4. So then it would sit there and it would, like, there was a number, like, let's just make up a number 5, and then on the other side it was 92, which was the amount of applications, and it would say loading, and then it had to load all the applications, and then it brought you to a home screen. Now, that home screen that was on the PS4 does not look like the home screen that we will all be getting in our PS4. So I'm assuming that's only a demo unit thing, because if that's in the final release of the PS4, they fucking better pass that shit, because I'm not trying to wait like literally 2 to 3 minutes every time I close out a game to be able to go to like a Netflix or start up another game or go shopping on the PlayStation Store. That was absolutely unacceptable. But that was the only downside I can find. Again, the biggest upside, that controller. Oh my God, I'm telling you, that controller is the best controller out there. Next week, the GameStop employee said, I'm very cool with like all the GameStop employees and stuff because I'm there all the time. They said that probably next week they'll be grabbing up an Xbox One display, so I'll be there next week definitely to see if they do have an Xbox One display, and if they do, I'll tell you guys my opinions on which controller I think feels better. But that PS4 controller is something serious, let me tell you. That I'm ready for a whole generation of that controller. I didn't want to stop playing just because the controller felt so good, And the GameCube controller is the only other controller that did that to me. I think a few days ago, I only have about 3 or 4 GameCube games, I should say, and I didn't really feel like playing any of them. But I popped one in anyway. Sorry about that. Just so I could play with the controller. I love this controller. The PS4 had the same effect. I didn't want to let it go because that controller felt that nice. So I'm excited for the PS4. I'm very hyped up. Let me know, are you guys excited for the next generation of consoles? Which console will you be getting? I'm assuming if you watch this entire video, you're probably on the PS4 side, seeing as though it seems that whether you're on the PS4 side or the Xbox One side, you guys fucking hate the other side, and I'm expecting to get a dislike from an Xbox fan or every Xbox fan, whatever. The way I see it, I'm on PS4 side, but the Xbox One is going to be great. I'll be doing another video on my thoughts on the whole console war thing, and expect that video tomorrow. But I will see you guys in my next video. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace.